Hello there, very good evening and welcome to our Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Meenakshi Ratnasekara. First, we'll take a look at our headlines tonight.
Heavy rains to continue across much of the island. Landslide warning extended, over 1,800 displaced. 3 more bodies recovered from the rubble of the coastline, the landslide. Search operations continue. MP Sujiva Senasinghe makes a revelation on the lifting of the ban on the LTTE in Europe.
මේ නඩුව දාන්න කියලා කිව්වේ මේ ආණ්ඩුව කේපීට. ඉතාලියේ ඉන්නවා තව ඉදිරි සංවිධානයේ සමාජිකයෙක්. ඇවිල්ලා හම්බුනේ ප්‍රධාන ඇමතිවරයෙක් රටේ.
Tensions flare in Parliament as JVP leader delivers a scathing attack on corruption and fraud.
The House going to suspend 5 minutes.
Democrats and Republicans lock horns at the US midterm elections.
In your top story tonight, President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the development of the local economy is imperative. The President made this statement at an event held in Colombo today.
The Cooperatives Insurance House located in Grand Pass, Colombo was declared open by the President this morning. We have to develop our own economy, our local economy. We should not depend on the advice given by the IMF or any other foreign party such as Europe. What we have done today is that we have analyzed the advice given by external parties and created a model to take us forward. This is what must be accepted today. Today the IMF is talking about the Mahinda Chintanya, the World Bank is talking about the Mahinda Chintanya, and the ADB is talking about the Mahinda Chintanya.
Speaking at an event held in Kaduwela yesterday, UNP parliamentarian Sujiva Senasinghe commented on the decision of the EU court to lift the ban on the LTTE.
KP has been caught, and over the past 2 to 3 years I looked at the budgets to see if any of the money obtained from selling the LTTE's gold would be included, but it was not. It has been sold when it should be included in the budget as revenue. Where are the 20 ships? My friends, no one knows what happened to the 20 ships that were with KP. They failed to send a lawyer to represent the country. A group of organizers of the LTTE filed a case for the ban to be lifted. If you were aware that several of these countries had a case filed against them, then as a stakeholder we could have been represented in that case. The Sri Lankan government could have been represented in that case and could have submitted the LTTE as an organization that wreaked destruction and would do so again in the future. Why is it that not even a lawyer was sent to represent Sri Lanka? It is the government that asked for this case to be filed. KP knows another LTTE member in Italy who met with the chief minister in our country. He took KP's message and told him to file the case and win it somehow. This was done so that the key persons in this government could lift the freeze on all of KP's assets and take it for themselves. So, who are the traitors now?
UMP Western Provincial Council S.M. Marika was also present at this meeting held to appoint UMP polling booth agents in the Kaduwal electorate.
Newsfirst Nadeem Majid is standing by to provide the very latest on the weather situation. Nadeem?
Well, thank you, Shane. We've been following the latest with regards to the weather situation from right here at the Newsfirst Centre, and the news on the horizon is not good. The landslide warning issued for 7 districts following heavy rainfall has been extended further. The Disaster Management Centre says 6,000 people across the island have been affected by the heavy showers and the risk of landslides, and more than 1,800 people have been displaced.
The National Building Research Organisation has issued a landslide warning for the Kegol, Ratnapura, Kandy, Badulla, Norelia, Kalutara and Mathale districts. Over 3,800 people have been affected by the rain and landslides in the Badulla district. The Norelia district secretary noted that 2,346 people from 525 families in the district are being sheltered at 21 camps due to the risk of landslides.
Now, weather forecast website AccuWeather.com is predicting more showers across Sri Lanka as well. Let's just take a look at some of the latest satellite images that we're getting from AccuWeather. We can see that showers have been forecast for most parts of the island, and we can also see that most parts of the island are under a heavy cloud cover. As you can see from the satellite images, the island is barely visible under this heavy cloud cover that we're seeing over most parts of the island. Rain, cloudy skies, heavy rainfall predicted in much of the island according to the website AccuWeather.com. Now let's take a look now at what the Met Department had to say about the forecast for the next 24 hours.
An atmospheric disturbance is reported close to the island. This situation is likely to worsen in the days to come. Heavy showers will be experienced in the north central province tomorrow. However, signs show a gradual drop in the rainfall after the 5th of this month. Wind speeds may increase along with the depression reported in the Bay of Bengal. We request the fishing community to be vigilant and take necessary precautions while setting out to sea. Showers or thunder showers will develop in central hills. However, we expect the inclement weather to improve in 2 to 3 days.
Now, as survivors of the Koslanda landslide tragedy pick up the pieces of their lives, people across the island, in other parts of the island, continue to be affected by landslides and severe weather conditions.
A landslide threat has arisen in the Miriatani area in the Stratis estate in Sammale, Hatton. 49 people from 9 homes have been evacuated and are being sheltered in a preschool building. The risk of rock slides had arisen in the Uchamale mountain in Mayaya Ridigama in Kurunagala as a result of the solid holding in place a large rock in the area being washed away by rain. Our reporter says that about 30 families living in the foot of a hill are in danger as a result. We have no sort of satisfaction. We cannot sleep at night owing to the fear of landslides. Several areas in Chilau, including Mayakulama, Digovalla and Alambe, have been inundated as a result of the Dadru Oya breaking its banks. Close to 500 families have been affected by the floods. Several villages in Putlam, including Jinnawata, Pudugama and Jaisirigama, have been inundated following heavy showers. Our reporter says people in 60 homes have been affected by the floods. Heavy rains also inundated the Pitawata area in Kachimana, Dumala Surya in Hettipola. People from 35 homes in the area are being temporarily sheltered at St. Anne's Church in Kachimana. Heavy mist were reported this morning on the Hatton-Colombo and Hatton-Norelia roads. Our reporter says the mist had disappeared somewhat as of this evening.
Security Forces Commander in the Central Division, Major General Manu Pereira, who is coordinating the search operation at the site of the Koslanda tragedy, is continuing, says that 8 bodies have been recovered so far. The search operations are continuing in spite of intermittent showers that were experienced today as well.
The search and rescue operation to find those missing in Miriabada entered its 6th day today. The search operation is being undertaken with the assistance of the Army, Navy and Air Force. The search continued despite intermittent showers experienced in the area. Security Forces Commander Central, Major General Manu Pereira, who is coordinating the search operation, stated that the body of a 9-month-old infant was amongst the bodies that were pulled out of the mud and rubble.
We have
found 6 bodies as of yesterday. We found 2 more today and several body parts. So 9 bodies including bones and other limbs have been found. So our count at present is 8 bodies and the parts of 1 or more bodies. Security forces are also repairing the access road in the village that was buried in the landslide and drainage systems in the area. We need to build 2 large culverts before we can connect with the Koslandi estate. 2 structures have been bought in by the Disaster Management Center and this is being used to build the culverts. We hope to return transportation along the road to some level of normalcy in the near future.
Now, a great deal of confusion continues to surround the figures relating to the number of missing and dead in the Koslanda tragedy. This has been especially problematic for us in the media when it comes to reporting correct figures to the public. Now, various factions continue to express differing views on this matter today as well.
මේ සිද්ධි වුණාට පස්සේ ආපහු මේ ගෙවල් කියලා තුනද ඒ කියන්නේ මිනිස්සු ගාන ගණනය කරන්නේ. ඔව් 334ක් දැනට 334ක්. ඒකට අතුරු දහන් වෙච්ච ගාන මේ අතුරු වෙච්ච ගාන 338යි. 38න්
The bodies of 8 people have been recovered as of today. Several body parts have been found, but these are not complete. They say it is 8.5. The bodies of 8 people have been recovered and 31 persons have been registered as missing. There can be minor fluctuations. Why? One reason is that we are still expecting that some people who lived here may suddenly turn up from Colombo or from some other area. Nevertheless, we believe that the total number is 45. Another matter that has drawn serious attention is the number of children who have been orphaned. 3 children have lost both parents. 4 children have lost their mothers. 63 homes have been damaged. 6 line rooms and 3 official residences have been lost. Additionally, 2 shops, a milk collection center and a co-mill were buried.
The Disaster Management Center has constantly highlighted the fact that warnings were issued for people to evacuate this area in 2005 and 2011 due to the risk of landslides. However, what steps were taken following the issuing of the warnings?
The day before the incident, the DMC, NBRO and all local authorities went there and informed them that if there are cracks, they should leave. Some people left and came back in the morning. They had been told to leave the area and this situation has arisen because they disregarded that message.
Although the government says that the people in the Koslanda area were warned in 2005 and 2011, the people in the area say that they were not warned and that they did not receive housing anywhere else. We call on the government to immediately conduct an inquiry into this parallel to the relief effort. We call on the government to appoint a commission that is empowered to implement recommendations. It would be pointless to appoint false committees to stall for time as they do in other matters.
They had been informed and landslide warnings have been issued. You would have seen the announcements that have been made over the past several days over the risk in several districts. We have told those people where they need to go when there is excessive rain. They have been told to go to the Tamil College. We have named safe locations for them to go to in these instances.
Some people have been given land adjacent to where the landslide occurred. If a landslide is possible here, then a landslide is possible there too. That is why nobody wanted to go there. We would have gone if land was given elsewhere. What steps is the state taking now for the people who lost everything, including their lives?
The situation at relief centers has changed. We are attempting to take the 297 people from 57 families who have been displaced at the Miriabad village to another location, and from there to the Punagala camp until we can build housing for them and relocate them.
We have
identified the 250 people from 50 families who have been affected. We are establishing a separate camp for them, and after we find a safe location, we will take steps to build homes for them. The estate authorities are not giving them housing in safe locations. When they are asked to provide land, they provide land in areas where homes cannot be built. We first wish to request the management of these estates to provide lands to build homes for these people. We believe we are now at a level where we can resolve this amicably. If this does not happen, then we will take steps to acquisition the land if needed to build safe homes for these people.
Now, given that many of the schools where the displaced from the coastal and the tragedy are being housed will be needing to reopen soon, a need has arisen for alternative shelters to be established. Now, as a result, measures are now being taken to relocate the displaced from the coastal and the landslide and other landslide-prone areas to the Ampitiakanda tea factory.
As schools which were used as temporary shelters need to reopen, measures were taken to relocate the displaced to the Ampitiakanda factory. The army cleaned the premises of the factory today. The displaced are currently residing at the Punagala Tamil College, Punagala Primary College, Punagala Sinhala Mahavidyalaya and the Punagala Kovil. There are currently 1,000 individuals living in these temporary shelters, out of which 226 individuals were previously residents of Miriabad. We at News First looked into the living conditions of those displaced due to this tragic incident. We were able to witness the orderly manner in which the army took measures to distribute aid to those affected. The displaced are currently residing in classrooms such as these. Donations were handed out by one soldier per classroom. Meanwhile, schools surrounding Koslanda reopened today. Students from middle grades, including those students who were affected by the landslide, attended classes at the Koslanda Tamil College.
I'm currently standing by the Punagala Tamil Mahavidyalaya, and these evacuees are the worst affected by the calamity. Even though they were provided with the necessary items, all they hope for is a roof over their heads.
Well, thank you, Stephanie Rodriguez, for that comprehensive report. Now, several protests were staged in the estates today, demanding that proper housing be constructed for estate workers living in at-risk areas.
Now, a heated argument broke out in Parliament during the committee stage debate on the budget allocations for 22 institutions, including the President's Office, Prime Minister's Office and the Commission to investigate bribery and corruption. The Commission Tensions flared when JVP leader Anurakumara Dissanayake spoke on irregularities in the various institutions. As MPs continued to obstruct proceedings, the Deputy Chairman of the committee, Chandakumar Murugesu, adjourned the sitting for 5 minutes.
Do we need such a position? Do we need a ruler who wastes such a large sum of money? Do we need an individual who spends so much money? Honourable Chairman, according to the 2015 budget, the daily expenditure is 26.2 million. How do they spend so much? Are they eating 5,000 rupee notes?
උදේට 5000 මැල්ලුම රැයට හොද්ද මෙහෙම කනවත් දන්නේ නැහැ. කල්පනා කරලා බලන්න.
Think about it. The people need to take back power from their leaders. The executive presidency is not only a waste of money, it has also created a distortion.
විකෘතියක් ගොඩනගලා තිබෙනවා. ගරු සභාපතිතුමා අපේ රටේ සම්ප්‍රදායක් තිබුණා. කාට හරි පහර දුන්නා නම් පහර දීපු කෙනාට දඬුවම් දෙන්න ඕන. පහර කාපු කෙනාගෙන් සමාවිල්ලන්න ඕන. අපේ රටේ වෙලා තියෙන මොකද්ද? පහර කාපු කෙනා ගෙදර යවනවා. ගහපු කෙනත් එක වතකාණු වෙනවා. මොකද්ද රටේ නීතිය? භූමිත ගැරන්ඩියට භූමිතෙල් වගේ තමයි දගලන දගලිල්ල. මේ දගලන එකෙන් තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් සභාපතිතුමනි. ගරු සභාපතිතුමනි අපි ගරු සභාපතිතුමනි බැංකුව වලින් ණය අරගෙන මහර බන්ධනාගාරේ ඉඳලා නැහැ. මතක තබා ගන්න. බැංකුව වලට පොලු තියලා මහර බන්ධනාගාරේ රැකලා නැහැ. මහජනක මුදල් 7ක් නාස්ති කරලා හොරකම් කරලා නැහැ. මහජනක මුදල් හොරකම් කරපු නාස්ති කරපු කණ්ඩායම් අද දඟලන එක අපිට තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන්. අන්තිම වාක්‍ය කියන්න කියන්නේ මම. අන්තිම වාක්‍ය ඔබතුමාගෙන මොකවත් නැහැ. අන්තිම වාක්‍යවත් ඉවර කරගන්න දෙන්නකෝ. අන්තිම වාක්‍යවත් ඉවර කරගන්න දෙන්නකෝ. Please allow to finish. අන්තිම වාක්‍ය ඔයාගෙන නැහැ. ඔයා එහෙම ගහපු ඒවා ගැන නැහැ. හරිද? ඔයා හෙලිකොප්ටර් ගත්ත විදිය ගැන නැහැ. ඔයා මාර හිරගෙදර හිටපු ගැන නැහැ. හරිද? කරුණාකරලා ඔයා ක්‍රිස්නෝනිස්ට ගහපු විදිය ගැන නැහැ. ඒ නිසා අන්තිම වාක්‍ය ඒවා නැහැ. ඒ නිසා කරුණාකරලා අන්තිම වාක්‍යවත් ඉවර කරන්න දෙන්න. මොකද්ද මේ? අවසන් කරන්න අන්තිම වාක්‍යයට ඔයාගෙන තියනවා කියලා. අන්තිම වාක්‍ය ඔයාගෙන නැහැ. ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂ හයිජැක් කරලා ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂ අත්පත් the house going to suspend 5 minutes.
Janata Vimukti Peramuna North Central Provincial Councillor Vasanta Samarasinghe says that the Minister of External Affairs, Professor G.L. Pieris, is attempting to cover up the transaction on the refurbishment of the Sri Lankan mission in Geneva. Reacting to the statement made by Professor Pieris in Parliament over the matter recently, Vasanta Samarasinghe has stressed the need for an extensive investigation on the transaction made. The irregularities pertaining to a transaction made with regard to the refurbishment of the official residence of the Sri Lankan permanent representative in Geneva in 2009 was brought to light by Vasanta Samarasinghe and former Sri Lankan permanent representative in Geneva, Tamara Kununayakam, quoting an audit report. The audit report states that the contract was awarded by a company owned by P.T. Thurairaja, who is, according to the report, affiliated to the LTTE. However, issuing a statement, Professor G.L. Pieris, the Minister of External Affairs, noted that Thurairaja was not connected to LTTE activities. The Minister states in his communique that this is evident by the communication between U. Jauha, the head of Chancery of the Sri Lankan Mission in Geneva at the time, and Pierre-Yves Huguenin, attached to the Swiss Federal Intelligence Service. However, the need for an extensive investigation into the audit report compiled by 4 senior officers is stressed and highlighted. Under this backdrop, Professor G.L. Pieris made a statement in Parliament recently.
Then mang sabhagata ganna. I'm
tabling this document in Parliament. This is the document. This document has been issued by the Federal Office of Justice. This is the Switzerland police. What are the allegations leveled? They say that he was arrested by the Swiss police and that he is connected to the LTTE. This document has been issued by the Federal Police of Justice, which is the Justice of Office of Switzerland. It is stated that Thangaraja Thurairaja is not registered in the criminal record.
Criminal record.
This is an official document from the Swiss government. It is also mentioned here that a validation, that is, to verify the truth of the matter, can be obtained by visiting a website. The web address has been mentioned and the ministry officials visited the website.
The person mentioned in this extract was not entered in the criminal records as at the date of 20th October 2014. මේ පුද්ගලයාට විරුද්ධව කිසිම ක්‍රිමිනල් රෙකෝඩ් එකක් නැහැ.
ඔබට මතකයි මේට කලින් ජී.එල්. පීරිස් කරු මහාචාර්යතුමාම කරුණු කිව්වා තුරේරාජා.
You may recollect that Professor Pieris said that Thurairaja was not connected to the LTTE and that information on his affiliations were obtained through emails exchanged between Jauhar and the Federal Police. The professor said that Thurairaja was deemed clean. If there was an email, make it public. Table this email in Parliament. What has the minister tabled? This is a document that was downloaded from the web. When you search whether or not this individual is connected to any criminal records, a document pops up with the name and birth date of the individual concerned. When was this document published? It was published on the 20th of October 2014. Does that mean that Thurairaja has formulated this document and published it? This is the question we have. We don't have an issue with his criminal record. Professor Pieris, the LTTE is not banned in Switzerland. Please stop your attempts to sweep this issue under the carpet. This means all 4 of them had committed a crime. The crime they have committed is the grave allegation they have made against the diplomatic service. We need an investigation on this audit report. Why was the report compiled? What was the mandate of the 4 persons who compiled the audit report? We request Professor Pires not to act like a child. Do not dance to the tune of others. Where is the communication sent by the Swiss police on Shelva Zug, owned by Ture Raja? Make that letter public. Where is the letter sent by the Geneva mission to the Swiss police? Table it in Parliament. If Professor Pires is attempting to sweep this issue under the carpet, we will take this up with the Swiss officials directly. Table this in Parliament and obtain statements from the 4 officers who conducted the audit.
The foreign minister refers to the allegations and the monitoring MP, he refers to allegations that I have made, and Mr. Ture Raja from Shelvatsug says that it is my report, that I am responsible and that it is my interpretation. Now all this amounts to saying this is a report that has been done by an individual, or it's an allegation of an individual, and motivations being either personal motivations or political. But what they don't say is that it is in a report, and the report was done by the Ministry of Finance, a very important ministry. The information comes not from me. It is done by an audit conducted by a senior delegation from a very important ministry in the country, the Ministry of Finance. The result of the audit conducted by the team found that there were very serious irregularities, and irregularities with regard to all procurement activities, or many procurement activities, including the renovation of the residence. So by making it out to be a personal allegation, they are trying to create a smoke screen and to divert attention of the citizens away from the real issue. There is an audit report. Now they have to answer the question, does it exist or does it not exist? If it exists, then something has to be done about it, or they have to respond why, if nothing has been done, why nothing has been done. Now the foreign ministry, the foreign minister himself in his statement, and the monitoring MP, they pretend that the audit report doesn't exist. They have absolutely no clue. Ture Raja, Mr. Ture Raja, he recognizes that it exists, but he invalidates it by saying it is my personal interpretation. So it amounts to the same thing. They're in fact saying the same thing. Both the foreign ministry and Mr. Ture Raja are saying the same thing. Why? So is it because there's somebody they need to protect? Whom are they trying to protect? Why? And I think there are a number of questions that they must respond to.
This is a document tabled by Professor Pires in Parliament recently. This very document was sent to us by P.T. Ture Raja. We directed this document to the Swiss Embassy in Colombo for verification. There has been no response from the embassy on the matter. Responding to a query made by Newsfirst, Jeanette Baumer, spokesperson for the Office of the Attorney General of Switzerland, noted that the investigation into 10 persons for alleged money laundering, extortion and participation in a criminal organization is still ongoing. Baumer noted that no further news on this case would be communicated until the indictment in the 2011 case is released, and added that the Swiss authorities do not disclose the names of those directly involved nor comment on the substance of such contracts.
They allocate 5 minutes, sometimes 8 and even 10 minutes, and stress on this matter and how grave it is. However, we are fortunate that we can prove this wrong. There was no evidence before against whom allegations were leveled. According to the Goebbels theory, they are trying to ingest this into the mindset of the general public and create an opinion. However, this is a baseless allegation.
Follow the developments of this story on social media platforms using the hashtag GenevaGate. Follow this story and share your thoughts using the hashtag GenevaGate.
Now, the British High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, John Rankin, visited Kandy today.
The British High Commissioner paid homage at the sacred temple of the Tooth Relic before meeting with the chief prelates of the Askiri and Malwata chapters of the Siam sect.
It's a privilege to call on you again, sir.
We welcome the economic development
that has taken place in the post-war period, the infrastructure that has been created, the strong economic growth. But as our Prime Minister David Cameron said when he was here last November, we believe that for Sri Lanka to achieve its full potential, then those issues of concern of accountability for events during the conflict, for achieving a political settlement between the communities and addressing current concerns of human rights, if those issues can be fully addressed, we believe that full potential can be reached.
High Commissioner John Rankin also expressed his condolences to victims of the Koslanda landslide.
In the next 2 days, I'll also be visiting Nurelia and Uva province, where I'll be calling on the indigenous people of the Veda community. And of course, when I'm in Uva, I will be thinking particularly of those who have lost their lives in the landslide at Koslanda, and our thoughts and condolences are with those people.
High Commissioner John Rankin also visited the Garrison Cemetery in Kandy.
It's a big thing. So I'm just going to run around and
Mr. Goodson has sent me a letter about something else.
Now it's time for our investigative journalism segment, Action TV.
In 1973, construction on the Taboba Reservoir was completed, agrarian settlements were established and the cultivation of the land began. On the 30th of October 2012, Action TV reported on a reservoir which had been neglected by the Department of Irrigation. The reservoir in question is the Monaravava, located in the Wanatha Viluva Administrative Division. Although the Monaravava is not considered as one of the minor reservoirs sustained by the Taboba Reservoir, boundary stones were laid over an area spanning 82 acres, considering the historic boundaries of the reservoir parallel to the Taboba Reservoir project. Over 4 decades, the people had clamored for repairs to be undertaken to enable the reservoir to be filled with water. While the Economic Development Minister drew up plans for such an endeavour even before Action TV's first expose on the fate of the reservoir, the plans had shriveled up owing to a condition imposed by the Department of Irrigation.
After the estimates were drawn up, the Irrigation Department said that alternate routes should be built without harming these constructions.
Given that water could not be supplied to the Monaravava from the Taboba Reservoir in keeping with the parameters laid down by the Irrigation Department, the Ministry of Economic Development abandoned their plans in spite of the fact that a tender had already been awarded at an expenditure estimate of 2.4 million rupees. Nevertheless, renovation work is currently underway at the Monaravava.
115,000 rupees has been allocated from the Development Committee's funds. A request has also been made for 150,000 rupees to be allocated from the Farmers Society. Work has been completed to the value of 692,000 rupees so far. The DO and other officials are yet to release the funds from the Farmers Society. The other funds have been released and we are continuing work with the involvement of the villages and other institutions.
The Monaravava reconstruction project is now going ahead as an inclusive endeavour which has been boosted by the participation of even the village's most senior citizens. Shouldn't an alternative system be introduced to secure water for the Monaravava from the Taboba Reservoir in order to ensure that the hard work put by these people is not wasted? Director General of Irrigation, this is over to you.
In business news tonight, during the past few days, we reported to you a number of instances where big onion farmers in several parts of the island did not receive a stipulated price for their produce. Big onion farmers in Elumgasyaya in Galenbidunuvava too are faced with the same problem. Big onion farmers in Elumgasyaya in Galenbidunuvava charged that they have not been able to receive the stipulated price put forward by the government, although they stored their harvest for a period of 3 months. They charge that they have not been able to cover the cost incurred on cultivation and are severely inconvenienced. Kentuckians remain split on which political party should control the State House of Representatives according to the final Bluegrass poll before tomorrow's election.
Well, 44% of registered voters in the state favor Republicans, while 42% side with Democrats, according to the poll of 704 registered voters.
14% weren't sure.
Newsfirst Farzan filed this report from Kentucky on the efforts undertaken by the Republican and Democrat local county to boost the voter bases.
It's a fight between Mitch McConnell and Alison Lundergan Grimes. My first stop today was the Jefferson County Republican Party office. The office is fully equipped to assist the new voters and running mainly through its young volunteers.
We use our college Republicans, and we involve them in the campaigns. We involve them in events. We let them intern here.
Meanwhile, over at the Democratic Party base, they are developing new strategies to overcome their counterparts in the polls.
The Republican Party of Kentucky sent out a mailer that was against one of our candidates over in Louisville, one of our incumbent Democrats.
The Senate campaign of the Democratic Party's Alison Lundergan Grimes has filed a lawsuit against the Kentucky Republican Party, accusing the Republicans of sending mailings aimed at suppressing voter turnout ahead of Tuesday's polls. Now, the court case was filed at the Kentucky court on Friday, requesting that an order be issued to prevent these mailings from being distributed any further. The weather in Kentucky has dropped to 8 degrees Celsius and is expected to drop even more as we head on to Tuesday's polls. From Lexington, Kentucky, I'm Zulfikar Fauzan reporting for News First.
Yes, and also, what is the latest situation on the US midterm election? Zulfikar Fauzan joins us again via Skype with more from Atlanta, Georgia, USA.
Well, it's the final day for election preparations here in the US ahead of the midterm polls that will take place tomorrow, that's Tuesday. Now, before the midterm elections, now Republican Senate candidates are in probably strong positions in 3 key southern states, putting the GOP well within striking distance of regaining control of the upper chamber. Now, this is just according to bluegrass polls that have been conducted, so this cannot be considered as the most reliable and accurate information. However, according to the polls in Kentucky, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is leading Democrat Alison Lundergan Grimes by almost 9% of the votes, that's 50 to 41%. In Georgia, where I am right now, Republican David Perdue is leading Democrat Michelle Nunn 48 to 44%. Now, however, these figures are likely to change. So that's the latest updates from here in the United States of America of the midterm elections. I hope to join you soon. From Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Zulfikar Fauzan.
Now for a look at sports news in brief.
The second unofficial one-day international between Sri Lanka A and West Indies A, which was played at the Rangiri Dambulla International Stadium today, was abandoned due to bad weather. The game, which was revised to 38 overs per innings, saw West Indies post a total of 193 runs, all out in 37 overs. However, the match was abandoned when rain interrupted play during Sri Lanka's innings at the end of 2.1 overs, with the total on 8 for 1. Uday Ranasinghe of Vidyartha College Kandy emerged champion in the men's category of the Under-18 National Table Tennis Tournament 2014. The tournament, which was held over 2 days at the Sugadadasa Stadium, Colombo, saw Hasani Piumila of Visakha Vidyalaya, Colombo, emerge victorious in the women's category.
American daredevil Nick Valenda broke 2 world records yesterday with 2 high-wire walks between Chicago's skyscrapers without a net or harness, doing the second walk blindfolded.
We leave you tonight with visuals of Valenda's feat. I'm Shayan Silva.
And I'm Minoshi Ratnasekara. Take care and good night.